Okay, so I think you can go ahead and put the tokens back up for the tavern, storage, and the library.
Got it.
And I guess I'm gonna go ahead and let the daylight cycle resume. So we came over here to... Well, we knew the sheep had all died out, so we were like, okay, well, we'll just bring sheep back over here. So Gru went out there and brought 2 sheep within the boundary, thinking that the rancher would come and pick them up and return them to the pen over here. But they didn't. And then we're like, okay, well, where's the rancher?
No rancher.
Yes, what happened to the rancher? So we decided to do a bed check. And for a variety of reasons, we ended up just freezing time, because that's really the only practical way to bed check this many villagers. But we froze time and did numerous bed checks, because the first bed check revealed about 30 claimed beds, but we did not have 30 villagers just wandering around. So we were like, okay, it's gotta be that invisible villager sort of a thing, or the beds were bugged or whatever. Nobody seemed to be doubling up in beds either. So we did that, and we ended up with a lot of unclaimed beds, which means a lot of people died, basically.
Yeah, all we can figure is that there was a zombie apocalypse.
Well, I'm still unconvinced about that. This place is spawn-proof, or should be pretty nearly spawn-proof.
So what? I mean, the only thing that could possibly happen, and this would literally take a long time, is that if they just randomly were getting stuck on like trees as they grew and starving.
I just don't know, because we haven't even been over here very much. So when would they have had an opportunity to die? As long as the chunks aren't loaded, they ain't doing anything.
Right.
Nothing can spawn and kill them. And if the village isn't loaded, then none of them have any brains, so they can't have the ability to starve to death.
Right.
Anyway, we are missing 37 villagers. So, do you mind running over and grabbing a bunch of... Actually, let's go together. I'm going to set the daylight cycle to run again. Ugh.
Okay.
Let's see. Game rule, do daylight cycle true. Because I have a bunch of shulkers in my inventory. So let's go to the mining village real quick.
Got it.
Alright, do you have any shulkers in your inventory?
No.
Nice and clear?
Nice and clear.
Oh, your little cam account scared me for a minute. I was like, what in the world? Okay. So we need...
Don't worry, it's not the Illuminati or anything.
We need 37 villager hearts. Oh boy, this is gonna wipe out a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
You're ignoring
7,
how many
8,
emeralds
9,
it's gonna
10,
wipe out.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Wait. Why are we taking it from this one?
Why not?
Didn't we count out the exact number that we would need for this village?
Hearts?
Yeah.
Too late. I already mixed in the ones from the ice village over here.
Alright. Well, because I was going to say there's a bunch in storage.
I know. I just grabbed, 26. Can you grab 11 hearts?
Yes.
Flame ones that don't stack. Alright, villagers are moving around. Of course, it's rainy, so it's not like any of them are going to be working.
Are we just going to max out the school?
I just put a bunch of kids down. This entire room down here is children. That's going to be a madhouse. Hang on. I made 26. Hold on to your 11. Let me double check how many seats are actually in the schoolhouse.
Well, I was going to say, isn't it like 20-something? 28, maybe?
13 plus 12. That's 25.
And you just put down 26, so we're going to have one dumb kid?
Not necessarily.
Oh, that's right. They might swap off a little bit.
Maybe. Can you
I'll definitely not put my 11 down then.
No. None of them are going to school because it's raining. Give me your 11 hearts.
Okay.
And then run back to the mountain village and bring a bunch of chairs. Did you know that there's a light level 7 inside the schoolhouse?
Oh, well, that's great.
There was a torch missing. That's bad. Yeah. Alright.
There you go.
Thank you. Alright, so...
You're just gonna cram them in here for now. That works.
Okay, the kids are currently skipping around having fun. Wait. Oh, we got our overachievers. Are they playing tag or going to school? Oh, they're playing tag in the library. Never mind. Are you watching the ant house?
The what?
The house of ants? All the little villagers running around?
Yes. There's this one particularly shiny ant, too. Hi. Oh my goodness, it's a bunch of ants milling about.
Okay, well the schoolhouse is finally empty. Teacher immediately went to the library. Alright, some 5 hours later, I think the villagers have all been replaced and given their jobs, and for the farmers and druids and whatnot, told what they are allowed to do. But I think we've kind of come to a conclusion. So the purpose of the Four Corners was to see whether it was feasible to have a functioning kind of metropolis sort of a thing, multiple villages working in coordination with each other to, you know, have a bustling trade and whatnot. So we have the farming village here, which we did complete. We have the mining village over there, which is halfway done. And then we were going to make a ranching village and a lumberjacking village, like a logging camp of sorts. And like the ranching one would be, you know, lots of fields and barns and stuff like that for the many different kinds of animals. I think in general, the idea is sound. You can place them this close together and you can get them to function as independent villages. And once they function as independent villages, I think it would be feasible to have them work together. You know, you put your merchants all near the inner corners to make it easier for yourself. You'd need extra, like, we both have our cam accounts so that we can make sure that all 4 villages are loaded at the same time, like at once all 4 of them were made anyway. It would work. The problem that we're running into is the one that spent 5 hours trying to fix it today. And that is that TekTopia has some issues still. Farmers get stuck while trying to harvest sugarcane. Villagers go invisible. I think it was twice today, we had different villagers basically duplicate themselves. Same exact names and stats and stuff like that. And then the first time, or one of the first times we did a bed check, we had like 30 some odd claimed beds and no villagers to be found, and then all we did was basically reboot the game and suddenly there was like 30 unclaimed beds, and we were like, well, nothing changed between logging out and logging back in except for some form of a bug. You know, we had invisible villagers and villagers glitching out and all sorts of stuff. And so ultimately, we've kind of come to the conclusion that while the idea of the Four Corners works, TekTopia is not really at a point in its coding to make it feasible in the long term, not without spending a lot of unnecessary time on villager management. Now, keeping track of villagers, if they didn't glitch out, would be fine. I'd be 100% on board with that. That is so my cup of tea. But even I have my limits when it comes to villagers going invisible or disappearing entirely. It's not like they died, it's just they glitched. Whatever happened to them, who knows, but...
Well, yeah, and especially with the setup that we have here, I mean, the village, not only is it surviving, it's thriving. Like, we had to add so much stuff in our storage room because so much material is being produced, so much, you know, ore is being brought in, like, all the stuff. Of course, over here, it's just all the farming and, you know, everything works. It shows that the village will thrive just fine. Nobody's dying because they're starving or anything like that. It's just...
And I was going to say, unlike the winter village that we deliberately left relatively undefended, which gave our guards a lot of work to do, this village is like 99% spawn proof. If you get a zombie in here, it's like the 1 out of a million or something, you know?
Yeah, and there's always 10 guards that are available. I mean, 5 and 5 day and night, but there's always guards on duty capable of going and getting it.
Exactly, and we've got like 4 clerics running around here to keep them all healed up. So this village definitely works, and the same concept would basically be applied to all 3 of the other villages. We'd have a full fleet of guards and clerics to protect, and then, each one, like this one would have a butt ton of farmers, the ranching one would have a lot of ranchers, mining would have a bunch of miners, and the logging camp would have a bunch of lumberjacks. This concept works really well. I mean, I'm sitting here watching a guard right now. We've got 3 guard posts. We always have, even in the dead of night, we consistently have 3 guards on duty, 1 at the back entrance, 2 at the main entrance, and then we'll have like a couple asleep and a couple like training or practicing or whatever. It definitely works. It's just, and if it, like I've said, if it was just a matter of keeping track of the villagers, it wouldn't be a problem. It's keeping track of them when they disappear, because then you're like, so I'm basically being cheated out of emeralds. And right now, this is the part that really kind of got my goat. When I was replacing the villagers, I came in here. This guy, the tradesman, look at the prices to buy a bard or an enchanter. 28 to get a butcher. I wonder what caused the druid to take 1 point of damage. He must have fallen off something.
Either that or no, there's no trees that could grow. So yeah, that must have been completely just falling off of something damage.
Right. I mean, there could be a tree to grow. There are trees that are out there for the lumberjack to do, but I don't know, probably fell off something. Anyway, 35 emeralds for a guard, 21 for a lumberjack, captain, 56 for a teacher. I mean, even a farmer. That's the most basic of them all. I think, isn't the base price for a farmer like 7 emeralds? It's not 21.
Actually, base price for a farmer is 3.
3? It's not 21.
Because it's the cheapest, because it's the very first ones that you basically get.
Right. And the cleric is 9 blocks and change.
And we just had to replace, what was that, 22?
37. We just replaced 37
No, I'm
villagers.
talking about farmers wise.
22
so
farmers.
Imagine going from 22 farmers, which you could do for 66 emeralds on the first day, to, basically what we would have needed over 400 emeralds for these.
Yeah, I basically was like, you know what, this is, wow. That was like 100 million people that just came out of the library.
Yep.
That was a lot of people. But yeah, I decided I just went and got them out of the creative menu, because I'm like, there's no way we lost 37 villagers to natural causes. We've almost not even been here. We've almost not loaded the area at all. I suspect that glitching villagers, I'm wondering if it has to do with loading and unloading chunks, the same way that certain redstone things can fail when loading and unloading chunks. I wonder if it's gotta, like, it's gotta have some sort of a similar impact, Which would be why...
That's my suspicion. However, we weren't really over here much.
We weren't.
I was way over, and we specifically spaced these villages out so that each one wouldn't load the other. But, basically it would require like my camera account here.
Well,
one of us at one other one.
It would load, I believe, a tiny bit. I don't know the exact distance and the distance that things could be loaded. If you stood on the innermost corner up here, I think it would extend to a little bit of the opposite village. Now you were building in the 4 corners, like in the
yeah,
in
that's
the main
where
platform.
I was gonna say. I was over there digging, but it was not only was I far enough to be over near the other village, I was even more so because I was kind of in between 2 villages. So I was even further away than the village that we had put over there. So if anything of this actually loaded, it would have been more of this front portion where there was trees and
like some of the farmers,
farming
yes,
areas.
but...
Like, yeah, it would not have actually loaded all of this area where all the villagers would be doing stuff. And on top of that, nothing would be able to get in over there anyway. So it's not like a zombie could rampage through all these brain dead villagers. The zombie would have been poofing out of existence before then, because it definitely was over 128 blocks away. So it's just...
Sir, you failed.
What happened? What is that?
What do you think that is?
Oh, is that way over where I was digging?
Yes, it is, sir.
And
And you failed.
no, I know what I know what happened.
Yeah, what happened?
Enderman.
Always
gonna blame
blaming
the
the Enderman.
Enderman.
Always blaming the Enderman.
But hey, what I was saying, like, we'll need a little bit of your styling going on because I definitely made a. Yes, there was a hill here, but there's no longer a hill. How? Mimi.
Yes.
But at least it is dug, and the other half I was going to dig as well.
Right. Anyway, getting back to the point though. I don't think there's a whole lot of point in continuing working on the Four Corners villages and TekTopia at large until some of these glaring bugs get resolved. On a small scale, I would say it's largely inconsequential. If you have a small village, definitely playable, definitely enjoyable. But when you start getting into larger villages, you're starting to deal with like the bugs on a massive scale. Replacing 37 villagers was not fun, took a long time, and I don't really want to do it again, like ever. And there's nothing I can do to prevent it from happening again. So I've kind of decided, we have decided together that we are going to just cancel TekTopia, I guess. I hate using the word cancel. It's just like postpone, delay, put on hold.
Yeah, because if he has not ever said when he would be working on it again, but he did say that it's not like outside of the realm of things that he'll be working on. So if he comes through and does some updating on these things, maybe fixes glitching villagers or, you know, updates maybe their AI in regards to, say, the sugarcane and, you know, them just standing there brain dead, then I definitely think this would be something that,
We could come back
you know,
to.
we could come back to, yeah.
And I would assume that the existing villages, like people's existing worlds, would still be
Oh, I'm sure they
functional.
should be able to be. And I mean, while doing the beta testing basically on his server, one of the biggest things that many of us had asked him for that he didn't have time to do then, but it's not something that he counted out, was a management tool. Basically, some way that you could go to a central point in
Something
the
in
village.
the town hall that had a list
Mhm.
of all the villagers, where they slept, what their jobs were, etc.
It basically
Statuses.
give you the ability to manage the villagers, because that's what this mod is about. This mod is literally about managing villagers, having villagers be more effective than the vanilla villagers, but also you being managing them to make it a more productive, you know, village setting.
Right. But the purpose of managing villagers is you versus the intended working, like the working as intended game, not you versus
Right.
bugs. That is not
Exactly.
proper management in
You know,
games.
being able to get a village up and running and viable, having them survive on their own without you doing it, that's the real point of it all. And if something just glitches out 10 of your villagers, it, you know, that's not
Like,
really fair to the game.
Consider any number of real-time strategy games. You know, you got Civilization, you've got Stellaris, you go back in time, you got Command and Conquer, or more city-type games like SimCity, Sims. I haven't actually played a lot of the Sim games. I played Sims, not so much the rest of them. Another SimCopter, that was a fun game.
Yeah, I mean, SimCity, there was a population, and yeah, they could give you information like, I'm unhappy about this, or I need that, like, I need water, I need electricity, and you fix those, and it's fine, but it's not like you get a perfectly running city and all of a sudden half your population poofs.
Yeah, it's one thing to have
You
a
know.
tornado rip through, it's a totally different thing to have it just go, yeah, this section glitched out, sorry, oops.
Yeah.
So, my thought process is, we will leave this village. I will not destroy this world. This world's going to stay alive and well on my hard drive. I might even poke at it a little bit, work on some building stuff off camera and whatnot. But I think it's served its purpose until TekTopia gets more work on from like a mod as a whole. It served its purpose. We had originally planned on doing a village on the moon and even a village in a mod pack, or mod itself. I was going to take TekTopia and Betweenlands and put them together because we discovered that you can apparently, we did test it briefly, you can have a functioning village in the Betweenlands. In the very least, villagers seem to have brains. They seem to carry out jobs. We confirmed that nomads and the merchant could show up, etc. I don't know how the guards would react to the various type of mobs there, so that might be an issue, and whether the mobs would aggro to the villagers.
I was going to say, nor do we know what mobs would actually go after the villagers.
If any, right.
We might have to have a village of 100 guards for every one villager if everything's trying to eat them.
Well, that's part of the problem. If things will attack the villagers and the guards won't defend them, that'd be a problem.
That too.
So that's one thing we didn't test. The moon is functional. Well, the moon. I say the moon. I refer to it as the moon usually. The End. The End is a functional village. Nomads will spawn, the merchant will spawn, villagers will do their jobs. It all seems to work splendidly there. Endermen are not an issue at all.
Right, nothing would actually come at them.
Right, unlike in the Nether. Now, I don't know how, they don't have any reaction to pigmen, so, and ghast I assume would probably be the same as well. You could have a base in the Nether, except for the problem with the nomads. They never ever stop spawning, and it's this endless trove of nomads and I think merchants even too, streaming in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. It's a nightmare.
I remember the long line of
like 100 of them. And you'd think, ooh, 100 instant nomads, but then it never ends, and then you're like, I don't know, game crashes or something. So no. Nether, no. And yes, Betweenlands if you want to, sure, maybe give it a try. We wanted to do those, but again, the concept I think is sound for the End and for the Betweenlands. It's the mod TekTopia that's not sound, and I think that's the reason why I think this is probably a good place. We've confirmed that we can maintain at least 2 villages because we do have a partially functioning village on the other side. We don't seem to have any problems with it.
Yeah, and the other 2 villages that aren't currently built have nomads and merchants show up. They're, up and running. There's nothing wrong with them. They just don't have villagers at the moment. Yep.
I'm really disappointed. I love this world. We've spent so much time here. Of course, technically, we got married while working on this content.
Mm-hmm.
And, I learned some things in the winter village that I had looked forward to implementing here. For example, future self, if you ever come back to this world, snow. I want snow. Over in the mountain region. I mean, it makes no sense in the farming, or the lumberjack, or the ranching area, but the mining area, it needs snow. It's already on a mountain, so it makes sense, in my opinion.
Well, and the easiest way to do it would be to just unleash a horde of Freds and let them do their thing.
Yes. Yes, it would. So I guess that's pretty much where we're going to leave TekTopia. Now, for the viewers, with TekTopia being put on hold, or whatever you want to call it, what other content do you want to see on the channel? We've got Rad currently. Would you like to see another Minecraft modded series? We've spent so much time in vanilla, and now that we've gotten so addicted to mods, I don't know that I'd really want to go back to vanilla at all. If you think about it, TekTopia is pretty much vanilla anyway, except for the villager stuff. So would you like to see maybe another modded series for Minecraft? I guess we could try playing non-Minecraft games, though chances for that would be relatively slim because, I don't have every game on the planet, but I suppose if people have suggestions, it doesn't hurt to make them. And I guess if people want to know what sort of games I have on my Steam list, I could share that as well. We thought maybe Stardew Valley, if people are interested. So everybody let me know down in the comments. Comment down. Whoa, that.
Oh, okay.
Hey, well, it's my face. It's right there. See? Oh, okay, that's not. Okay, we're not going to zoom in on the knees. So down in the comments, let me know. Are you interested in seeing another Minecraft modded series? Are you interested in watching Stardew Valley? Or if there's anything else, like I said, we can consider it. Don't know if there was no guarantees. Let us know down there. What would you like to see to replace TekTopia? Or if you want to make a plea for TekTopia's survival, I guess you could put that down there as well, but what? Okay, really? What? Do you mind? Okay, I think somebody has too much energy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode here. We pretty much said what we needed to say anyway, so I hope everyone has enjoyed. Whoa, that's laggy. I hope everyone has enjoyed this series. I hope everyone has enjoyed what little to this episode there was. A lot of talky. I hope you've enjoyed the many times I ran up and punched Gru. Oh, so close, so close. Yeah, get over here. I actually hit you. Get over here. The number of dog fights in the air we've had. And I, of course, always hope that you will come back and join us in the next episode of whatever we happen to play. But until then, I hope everyone has a fantastic time, and we will see you later. Bye!
Bye.